It's the final day of the Pirelli GT4 Americas season, and it takes place under overcast skies in Indianapolis. The final race of the season about to get underway here at the historic Brickyard. Welcome to Indy. My name is Ryan Marine. Calvin Fish joins me in the booth, and Amanda Busick is down in the pit lane. It's a fascinating race that's about to unfold. The championship done and dusted in the silver class. However, two other championships still very much in flux as we go into the final hour of racing of the season. They'll have to do it in difficult conditions. Only 57 degrees in the air. Moisture in the area as well. The rain has been off and on over the last hour or so, but the track is certainly damp, and that's made it an easy choice. Teams starting on the Pirelli wet tires to get this race underway. But the question is, will the rain return? Will the track dry out? A whole lot of other questions as well to be answered, Calvin. I know we'll be keeping an eye on those points first and foremost because we've got two great battles in Pro-Am and Am.
Yeah, crazy that we come down to this final race of the season, and we've got two classes separated by 10 and 8 points respectively. So in the Pro-Am division, the 94 car has the lead right now. P3 would clinch it even if the 7 car of Kurt Swearingen would win here today. And in the Am division, well, the 36 has an 8-point lead, but they would need a P2 finish if the 72 car could come through and score a big win here at Indy today.
Those are the scenarios, and we'll be keeping an eye on them over the course of the next hour. Cars starting to roll out on formation laps, and because of the conditions, we're told this race will start behind the safety car, and the clock will start at during some of that process as well. As you can see, the clock has already started as the safety car has been deployed, leaving the pit lane. And this is really in the interest of safety, to give these teams a chance to scout the track, make sure they know what the conditions are, and also for officials to ensure conditions are safe enough for racing, which we anticipate they will be, having just seen a 25-minute TC America race conclude a few moments ago.
Yeah, the track looked pretty good. I would say the problem area, if there is one, is coming through that final corner, turn 14, back up onto the front stretch. A lot of standing water there, so you got to tread carefully. Obviously, these cars have a lot more horsepower in the TC division that just ran here a few moments ago.
And they're rear-wheel drive, which adds to some of the challenge, whereas many of the touring cars were front or all-wheel drive. These are the pole sitters in their respective classes. It's actually the Pro-Am pole sitters that start on the overall pole, courtesy of the Brazilian Mateus Laced. Put in a blitzing performance to take the top spot. Here is that starting grid, and it is Laced on the pole position with Gonzalez alongside. Danny Dashelski and Jonathan Neudorf, who just won his 5th straight TC race, starting in 4th. Then it's Kenton Cook, champion-elect in the silver class, and next to him Spencer Papelli, Hannah Grisham, Brayden Arthur starting back in the next row. Then it's row 5, Matt Millian, Tony Gaples, who are back in the championship conversation only just. Tyler McQuarrie and Kurt Swearingen trying to wrap up a title today. Max Hewitt starts in 13th, next to Sam Craven in the middle of that Pro-Am title battle. Alex Garcia starts on the Am class pole, next to Kenny Schmid, who's fighting for a championship in that division, as is Charlie Postins in his final race with Bimmerworld. Chris Wilson will start next to him. Lucas Catania, Denny Stripling, they start back in row 10. Alex Vogel in the 11th row next to Ross Poole, part of a debuting lineup for Auto Technic. Dan Seville and Eddie Colleen out back. Colleen's car, one of several that was caught up in an incident on the first lap yesterday. So took out a few championship contenders and race contenders. And one question we have is, are all 24 cars good to go? Indications are they might be.
So far, we've got 24 cars that have set a Sector 1 and Sector 2 time, and that is significant, certainly for their championship implications. If one of those championship contenders should have a bad day, that last place could be really the telltale sign of who will walk home with the big trophy tonight.
Conditions are the story of the day, and no one is better placed to give us the latest than Amanda down in the pits.
Brian, I think in the last race you used the word blustery. That is what we have down here. Not raining at present, but I can tell you these clouds are moving through in high speed and look a little dark, so I assume we'll see a little bit more rain. But I was hanging out in row 7, 8, 9 ahead of this race, and that's where all of our points implications are that you were talking about. Kurt Swearinger kicking off this race, a nice thumbs up for him. I actually talked to Anthony Garacci ahead of the race as well. He was so thrilled with that move that Kenny Schmid made yesterday to keep their championship hopes alive as well. In talking to the teams, while this is a wet race to start the race and everyone's out on wet tires, shall the conditions stay the way they are, no rain, and this track clears up, teams can take those slick tires at their choosing. So we'll keep an eye down here on pit road. Could get busy.
And that wind would help aid that process of drying the track. If it is as blustery as it appears to be and we don't get more rain, even without sunshine, that wind could certainly have a part to play.
It could, and obviously there's a pit stop window. Maximum drive time is 35 minutes, so you can play with that and come in a little bit earlier than that point in the race at 25. So yeah, I'm not sure the track's going to dry out quickly enough to be able to make that move. You don't want to be making 2 stops, the mandatory stop for the driver, and then another stop down pit lane, because the pit lane here at Indy is so long. It just costs you 68 seconds just transitioning, plus the service.
In those championship battles, we were getting a glimpse there of the green and white Porsche. Kurt Swearinger 10 points adrift of this car with Josh Green and Sam Craven. And also, you can't completely rule out Tony Gaples and Michael Cooper, who won yesterday, and by virtue of that, they're 22 points out of the lead. They need some things to fall their way, but it could happen.
It could. If suddenly the 94 car has a problem, if they finish last in their class, which would be P9, that would be 2 points. And if Gaples and Cooper could come through and win, that would be enough. They'd get the title by a single. Then it'd all be about where Swearinger finishes. And think about his teammate, Jan Halen, an absolute ace, the Belgian driver, in the wet. So he's going to be finishing off here today.
That's right. Swearinger has a different teammate this weekend than he's had all season. Riley Dickinson down in Austin, Texas, trying to go for a Carrera Cup championship. Lost the points lead yesterday, but still has a chance to get it back in the season finale. That was a shot moments ago of Tony Gaples in the Black Dog Racing McLaren, which starts 3rd in class, 10th overall. Really good qualifying effort for Tony, who typically is not a qualifying ace by his own admission. Meanwhile, AM class, here's the situation. Postins and Clay, they can finish second. If they can finish second or better, they win the championship. Full stop. Nothing Gerasi or Schmid can do at that point, but it's only 8 points between the two of them. They're the only two in play for the title, and they start right by one another, 2nd and 3rd in class, and that would be 16th and 17th overall on the grid.
Yeah, and 7 cars in that class, so they finish last. They'd have to get 4 points by starting the race here today, so means that the 72 cars got to make up at least 12 points on them.
It's a tall task, but we will see how it plays out. Again, clock is running with the full course yellow. Now, technically the race is underway, so we can give you an idea of what the points would look like with the cars running in this position in the AM class. And Postins and Schmid both on track for their respective cars, with Schmid ahead of Postins, which has them inching closer, but as they run, it would not be enough.
No, and I think that could be a roller coaster ride with those points going live here today, particularly in these conditions. There can be a lot of bobbles, a lot of moments, let's call them that.
Had a big one, didn't we, at the beginning of the race yesterday, but after that, it was nice and clear. We hope to get more of that once we get this race started, which is happening right about now. A single file start ruled by race control, and Matthias Leist will take the field to the Art of Briggs. The former IndyCar driver sees the green flag above his head. He'll take that top spot without any trouble, but the challenge is for 2nd position with Deschelski now. Taking a look to the outside of the Supra, Tyler Gonzalez. Jonathan Neudorf, who was just on track in TC America, looking a little bit aggressive. That's the Aston Martin that sits in 4th. And the champion-elect in silver, Kenton Cook, now in the 5th position.
Yeah, I was concerned there were Neudorf's rate of speed into that turn one braking zone. He's got to adjust from that crawler that he just won in TC with Kenton Cook. Working the outside magic there, trying to get to the inside for the high-speed chicane. He does clear Neudorf up to P4 early for our champion.
And Neudorf has to bail to get through single file. That leaves him perhaps a bit vulnerable to Spencer Pumpelly, the veteran. That's a one-off entry making its debut here this weekend, joined by multi-time champion of this series, Eric Vilgaris. They're looking for glory and nothing else. Don't have to think about points at all. It's a one-off entry here at Indy.
See the drivers exploring the grip levels. You'll find a bit more grip in the middle of the road as opposed to on the right-hand side down in the brake zone for turn 7. Oh, that's tight there. The 82 car of Macquarie almost gets nudged off the road. He collects it nicely. Great bit of driving there by Tyler.
That car caught out on that opening lap, Schmazel, yesterday.
Oh, Craven there, a big moment. It's our championship leader in the 94, the orange and blue car. You can see it's really twitchy there, coming through that fast right-hand turn, turn 11.
Schmid now leads in that class. He has vaulted up to the top spot. Postins has emerged in second place, and that's all he needs to do. Second or better, the championship is theirs. He's been able to get around Garcia to take that spot here on the most recent lap.
Yeah, Charlie should feel right at home in these wet conditions. The Englishman there fighting for another title. It'll be 3 for he and James Clay over the last 4 years if they can get the job done here today, but it's going to be a battle.
As they run, they would have it by 1 point. That's how close it is.
Yeah, they have to finish second. Oh, there's a cut down tire there. I think that's Gonzalez.
Sure is. Left rear. That's a problem there for Tyler Gonzalez and the Rafa Racing team. It's a long way to have to limp back around.
Yeah, there was certainly some racing in close quarters there over those first couple of laps. I'm not sure if there was contact, and that's what's cut down the sidewall on that tire. He's trying to come back at high speed here. He's got to be careful. Tucks to the inside. Super savvy driver. He's just trying to stay on this lead lap somehow, but pit lane just is so long. It's going to be a real fight. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Right now the lap times are in the 1:44 range. Cost you 68 seconds just coming down pit lane plus the stop. It's going to be a fight, but that will be the challenge. Keep on the lead lap, get a yellow, you may get back in the game.
Frustrating for Tyler Gonzalez. Gresham Wagner won this race yesterday to win back-to-back. It was their 3rd race of the season.
He's got to get over to the pit entry here as well. He doesn't want to get boxed out. He's able to get back over to the right-hand side.
Able to do so. Good point, though. Last thing he wants is to have to limp it around a whole nother lap. He's done a really good job to get back.
He has. Exhibition in drifting, I think.
Second car is coming to the pit lane, too. It was a BMW. Didn't quite see which one. Oh, it's Garcia. Pitting from 3rd place in the AM class.
Pole sitter here today.
Right. Don't see anything obviously amiss on the car.
I don't see anything on the notice board for any sort of penalty that would necessitate him coming down pit lane right now. Up front, Matthias Lace, you can see him just adopting that middle of the road approach here. Dushelski is keeping the heat on. This is not a battle for class position. It's a Pro-Am car up front with Lace. Silver class, Dushelski, Kenton Cook, champion with Kevin Bohm. They were crowned yesterday with just starting the race.
What a relief that was, because the day did not go according to plan for them yesterday, did it?
No, it was a rough one, but all they needed was a start. And hopefully have a brighter day today. You want to clink the championship, but it was a bit of a anticlimactic race for them.
Sitting second in class, 3rd on the road right now. A little bit behind is where you find this fight. Neudorf holding down the spot. Actually, this is Brayton Arthur, isn't it? A little bit further back, he's got Matt Million breathing down his neck. Matt Million on the podium yesterday, along with Tyler Stone.
Anna Grisham done a really nice job. Really impressed with her performances over the last couple of years or so. There's Tony Gaples. running 10th overall, 3rd in the Pro-Am class, still with a very much an outside chance for this championship, but they'll keep fighting. You know that Michael Cooper will get up on the wheel in these conditions as well. Tony's doing a great job here. Had that big win here yesterday. Car sat on the pole for the first time in Ray Sorensen's career as a crew chief, despite all those years at Newman Haas and other IndyCar programs running at the Indy 500. So it was a big day for Ray and the whole Black Dog Speed Shop to grab that pole and the win, of course. And it was a tough one. They had a penalty that they had to serve post-race, but Tony Caples kept his head down and maintained the gap that was necessary. Great performance.
I don't think we've covered this yet, correct me if we have, but one thing to remember is that the car that leads overall, the car that leads in Pro-Am as well, invisible for points, because Matheus Leist has a different co-driver here this weekend. Because Matheus is a pro in a Pro-Am lineup and he's separated from his AM, Michael Oriema has run with him all year long, and so he would end up on a separate points level from his AM.
That's a great point, because that means that the furthest down that Craven and Green can finish is P8, not P9. I think that basically locks out the 33 at a shot at this.
That's a good point. Hadn't thought about that, obviously. But again, just for the rationale here, because Leist would be a pro on his own at the end of the season, he would be removed from the points anyway, and so the ruling has been made to proactively make that car invisible for points here this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of curveballs at this stage of the year. You see Garcia's car, he must have had a run off the road and damaged the splitter, which we didn't see when he was coming in at low speed, but I'd assume that thing is flapping around when he comes down these long straightaways here at Indy.
Race Vision, powered by AWS, our circuit performance here. And the 47, best in Sector 3. It's the Supra that had to pit with the puncture, fastest in Sector 1. Meanwhile, Danny Dushalski is quickest through the middle sector in his Porsche.
Looking at the clock, 45 minutes left in this motor race. The soonest you could come in and be within the minimum and maximum drive time would be 36 minutes and 48 to go in this race. Then if you got your AM in right now, you could pull them out, be on pit lane for the mandatory 108 seconds. And then your second drive would not exceed 35 minutes. Here's a problem here for Dushalski, our silver class leader.
And he has found, this is the oval access road, basically. When you leave the pits on the oval, he has gone through the grass and ended up out there. This is the one I mentioned yesterday. I found that once, racing here in a club race. Couldn't make the turn, so went straight through the grass and looked for the first paved thing I could find, and it was the access road there, the pit exit lane.
Adding to your knowledge of Indianapolis, just doing your homework, Ryan.
It was research,
Yes.
That's right, that's right. I was prepared for this moment. But that did cost him quite a bit of track position. He went from second on the road and leading in class down to fifth on the road and fourth in class. He'll have to try and recover from that. Let's get an update. We've got more from the pits now. Amanda.
Yeah, I think we're showing visuals from the front of that 07 BMW from Skip Barber Racing, and talking to Carter Farta, there was contact made out on track with that BMW. The splitter and the bumper, front bumper, have come separate from each other, so that was the work of all that tape on the front of that bumper. But could be a rough ride for Garcia out there.
Don't
It's
think.
like a game of Pac-Man right now, doesn't it?
Okay, I was thinking Hungry Hungry Hippos, but yeah, Pac-Man's probably a little bit better. That is spot on. Now that has to be frustrating, though. That won't feel good at all.
Not feel good, will not give him the downforce. What makes it even worse, the downforce is inconsistent, particularly into the brake zones.
Well, this car much delayed because of that puncture, but fastest lap of the race now belongs to Tyler Gonzalez as he tries to recover. Right now, back in 23rd, only ahead of the car of the brothers Garcia that had that splitter damage Amanda was just talking about, and has got a lot of work to do to try and claw back through this field, especially when you consider the next car in his class is Max Hewitt, up in 9th overall.
They need a yellow. They need some help, but he's kept the car on the lead lap, so by his speed getting back to pit lane, a really efficient pit stop by the Rafa Racing team have kept him in the game. It's going to be a long shot, but if they get a yellow, don't discount that group.
They are locked into second in points, Wagner and Gonzalez, so this is just about trying to finish the season with a good result. Looking here at a couple of cars fighting for championships. Charlie Poston still sitting second in the AM class. He has Sam Craven ahead of him. Sam is fourth in Pro-Am, but in a position to score third place points.
Third place would clinch it for them. Even if the 7-car wins, third place is enough for the 94.
And right now, the 7-car is behind them and in position to score fourth place points.
But there's a long way to go in this race. And we've got Jan Halen who's going to be up on the wheel big time, trying to give Kurt Swearingen his best possible chance. Riley Dickinson busy at Circuit of the Americas this weekend, fighting for another championship, his regular teammate.
Not a bad option to pull Jan Halen off the bench.
He's coming off a GT4 championship win himself just a week ago, so knows these Porsche GT4 cars very, very well.
Dyszelski has recovered from his agricultural excursion a moment ago, and he has caught Spencer Pumpelly. This is a fun opportunity here to watch one of the young up-and-comers. Dyszelski, his co-driver Alex Ellis has just raved about Danny. Very young in his career, limited in experience, but no shortage of talent, and a chance to test himself against one of the best of the last 2 decades in Spencer Pumpelly.
Yeah, one of the smartest minds in motorsport, Spencer. He's had a win at the Rolex. I think he's had a couple actually as a driver, and also had one as a strategist for Allegra Motorsports one year. So he's one of those guys, he can be driving his race car, doing the strategy, thinking the race through. Just real talent. Newdorf sending it through that really fast, flat out, even in these conditions, chicane there, turn 5, 6, down at the brake zone at the end of Hullman. Charlie Poston's here, just needs a nice, clean day. Doesn't need any aggravation whatsoever. They would ideally love to see this race and continue under green conditions. Doesn't need a compressed pack where you're suddenly back fighting, trying to survive the Schmozzle, getting through that turn 1-2 chicane. Sit in that position, that is enough to clinch, even if the 72 car could continue in the lead and win this motor race in the AM class.
Watching Swearingen at work. This is so interesting. I mean, we always talk about the way that the classes intermingle here, but we've got championship contenders in different classes that are all running around one another. And the last thing you want to do is tangle with someone who's not in your class and can affect 2 championships theoretically in one fell swoop.
Yeah, that is right. So you got to be on your toes. You got to know who you're racing against at this stage of the year. Typically you do. Sometimes there's some drivers come in for these last race or 2, but nonetheless, just recognize where the big picture is. Where is my competitor that I'm fighting for a championship with? He knows there's Schmid. You can see him, but that's okay. He recognizes that he doesn't really have any heat from any other AM drivers. Chris Wilson currently sits in P3 in the AM class division, but 6 seconds back of Charlie right now, so he doesn't have to worry about any threat from behind for a class position at the moment.
This fight right here, 12th, 13th, 14th. Schmid just ahead in 11th. So, yeah, all of the title protagonists are right here. Schmid, Craven, Poston, Swearingen, all in a row, but not lined up in class order. They're all split by someone from a different class. And I mean, Gaples, I guess we've determined also is no longer eligible, but he's all just ahead of this group too.
Yeah, I think for Swearingen, he's going to be pretty happy that he's keeping Craven within arm's reach. He's going to let Jan Halen go fight it out with Josh Green, potentially for this championship here, a little bit deeper into this race. Oh, and he's sideways. I was just about to say he's got to keep it nice and clean. He nearly lost that Porsche there, accelerating through turn 9.
There was that discussion at the top of the show about the track conditions. whether or not they may dry out. We're not seeing much spray come off these cars, but we're also not really seeing a dry line emerge. I wondered if this car had a problem. I had seen it dropping down timing and scoring, and Dzelski is in.
Yeah, he's about 20 seconds underneath where ideally he'd come in, but you could suffice that by just sitting still 20 seconds longer so that when the second driver gets in, they would not exceed the 35 minutes maximum drive time. So that's an option for that team if they do have issues, gives them a little bit longer to fix it. Maybe not too far out of the game here.
The reason for that is because time spent in the pit lane doesn't count towards drive time, and it's much less punitive to sit still for 20 seconds than to do a whole additional pit stop, which would take much longer than 20 seconds.
We're now at the point in the race that anyone could come in, do the mandatory time on pit lane and switch drivers and be good to go. So you can see they're doing their driver change right now. You just got to recognize that they're going to have too much time on the board if they release him under the normal stop time of 108 seconds to keep him sitting there for 10 plus more. Looks like is that the Vogel car?
It is.
Coming off a big win at Barber Motorsports Park. Got the American Matt Bell.
That's right.
That car.
That's right. We saw British Matt Bell going for a title last night, didn't we, in the Indy 8 hour, and momentarily it was looking pretty good about the halfway point, but some mechanical troubles for their Corvette doomed that effort. Nevertheless, a really good season for himself and for Blake McDonald. Schmid here fighting with Tony Gaples. This is the leader in Am, coming up on the third place car in Pro-Am. And Gaples will pit out of this
Swearingen's
gaggle.
in as well.
And this would be on schedule for both of them. First opportunity gives them a chance then to put the pros in those Pro-Am lineups into the car.
One thing that you have here, sure in the wet, I think it will still happen. You're going to go down a lap, potentially, so that's always a factor in terms of the curveball of any incident out on the racetrack during this opportunity. It's not a set window, it's just making sure you don't exceed 35 minutes with either one of your drivers, but this is the time when those pit stops are going to happen, and that can really throw a cat amongst the pigeons in terms of the strategy that you've employed here, should that occur, particularly when you go down a lap with the length of pit lane here and the minimum stop time.
Driver change underway here, Neudorf to Webb. This will be the Black Dog Racing driver change. Gaples to Cooper. Team manager Ray Sorensen working the lollipop. Put his first car on pole at Indy yesterday in a lengthy career that includes 5 years with Newman Haas and a couple of years with Team Extreme in the IRL, running Indy cars at the Speedway, and got to see his car win its class yesterday.
Stands by like a proud dad, watching his team go to work here. Tony Gaples. He's run so many programs for Tony over the years. They're great friends, great chemistry. They understand each other very well. Knows what makes each other tick. And that's all part of the deal.
Gaples out, Cooper in. Looking to close out the season with a win, really bookend the season with wins.
94 is in.
All right.
Craven going to turn it over Josh Green. Are they on their way to a championship? Looking good at the moment.
What a year it would be for Ram the Vandals. They've already clinched one in GT4 America in the silver class. They won the pro class title in GT World Challenge America just last night. Kenton Cook, Connor DeFilippi. Maybe another championship to add to the trophy case as Michael Cooper brings this McLaren up to speed as quickly as possible. He's the leader on his strategy that is pitted. There are a handful of cars that are doing the opposite driver strategy. So Matthias Lace for Nola Sport, Matt Million for Auto Technic. We should see those cars come back to the pack a little bit in the second stint. There's Gaples, his job done for the season.
A really good pit stop for that group as well. Just 6/10 outside the minimum, so that is perfect. They're not going to have to fight. They probably made a little adjustment after yesterday where they cut it a little too tight. I think they were 9/10 under yesterday, had about a 9-second penalty that they had to fight with, but Tony did a great job of keeping the hammer down and keeping the gap up around 10-11, so that was enough to still get them the victory. Won it on the road, but then the question mark was, did they have enough of a buffer to serve that penalty post-race and still keep the win?
148 is the minimum, correct?
Correct.
And by the way, it does look like the VPX team, Dashelski and Ellis, they saw the same thing we did. They sat stationary for the additional 20 seconds, so I believe they should be good to go. Not exactly sure what caused them to come in so early, but they were able to recover. Only lost 20 seconds rather than having to do an additional stop.
Race tire is definitely starting to develop a bit of a racing line. 94 car, Josh Green comes out right alongside Michael Cooper. They nearly lock horns there. Jan Halen's on a bit of a run, I think, is right behind.
Yeah, this is really tight. This trio, you'd think the advantage is to the two drivers that have already been on track a little bit, know the conditions. Green's got to figure it out on the fly, can't wait around. Cooper is through, Halen next to line him up.
Really an awkward moment for those two drivers. Green, who's got a championship he's thinking about. Michael Cooper thinks, maybe I've got an outside shot at this. We don't think it's going to happen just because one of those cars in the class is invisible, and I think that means minimum points that the 94 car will score today is enough to keep them ahead of the 33, even if the 33 wins by a single point possibly, so it's super tight. But whatever the situation is, Michael Cooper wants another win, has had a brilliant season in GT4 competition here in North America across 2 different championships.
Halen helping his teammate for the weekend, Kurt Swearingen, out by making that pass. Trying to overhaul Josh Green and Sam Craven. It was a 10-point deficit coming into this race. We'll know better what the pecking order is once we cycle through all the pit stops, and still the first 7 or 8 cars are yet to make their stop.
Looking for
yeah,
damp piece of the racetrack, try and keep those Pirelli wet tires as cool as possible.
this could become a race about who manages their tires the best.
Absolutely, there's a long time to go if they're starting to feel it this early with 29 minutes plus, and we don't see any more rain. This racetrack will start to dry really, really quickly. They could be slipping and sliding big time at the end of this, because when the rain tires overheat, the tread blocks squirm around, and it's almost like driving a slick shod car in the wet. Kind of reverses the situation in terms of what the drivers is feeling, in terms of having the confidence. Suddenly it goes away.
How close do you think the track is to somebody potentially taking a gamble here? Those that haven't pitted yet, maybe throwing some tires at it.
I think it'd be super sketchy. You're still seeing water come up in the brake zone there. So you're just being dispersed. So I think you'd be many seconds off. But if you could stay on the lead lap, catch a yellow and a sprint to the finish, you could suddenly be in the sweet spot. I can't imagine any of the championship contenders are going to roll the dice on that. But if you've got poor track position, maybe give it a go. If you've got someone, a driver who's feeling that. Basically got to ask the guy standing on pit lane right now, what do you think?
Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Amanda reminding us there is a chance for more rain before the end of the race, so that would potentially take that out of the arsenal. You see the windshield wipers still on here for the 72. Kenny Schmid extending this stint.
Yeah, maybe one more lap. Otherwise, he's going to be exceeding 35 minutes. And 25 minutes or less hits the clock that you're looking at on the screen, top left. All of the drivers need to have been down pit lane or on pit lane. It's not when you get out of the race car, it's when you trip the beacon coming into pit lane, because time on pit lane does not count towards drive time.
This is the debuting lineup here this weekend. Gafarov and Poole stepping into the car for Auto Technic.
I'm going to use the off season to practice that name. Congratulations.
I didn't have a chance to go catch up with him this weekend, so I confess that is a best guess from talking to crew members. Hopefully we were close.
2 overall leaders in. laced, leading Pro-Am, Kenton Cook. Another super impressive drive there. BMW's been a little bit on the back foot this weekend in terms of power, but nonetheless, over the lap, they're still pretty racy. And Kenton Cook and Kevin Bohm, they would love to win this race. Win at Indianapolis is special in itself, but just really the icing on the championship cake.
It would be the perfect capstone to what has been an amazing season. I mean, they had this go away from them here at Indy last year, so they have some demons to exercise.
Schmid is, I was going to say.
Needed to pit.
Yeah.
We're right at the window, right at the verge of it closing on them.
Postlands is in as well, I believe.
Yep. I think everybody who needs to should be in on this lap. Stripling's the only one I'm not sure about, but I'm not sure they've made it to that part of the racetrack yet. Here's Nola Sport. We mentioned Mateus laced invisible for points because he has a new co-driver. And it's the return of Matt Travis, multi-time champion in SRO America, the Texan back aboard. He says he's good.
Well, he hopes he goes further than he did yesterday because he got wrapped up in that mess down in turn 1 on the opening lap.
And that was from the overall lead of the race. He's been in this position a time or two before. He and Jason Hart, when they were in their pomp, there were several times Jason would have secured the overall lead, and then Matt had to go hang on to it. He's certainly up for the challenge.
See Girazzi there trying to wipe off his right foot there as he's getting in the car, just trying to give it a rub on his overalls there. That is one of the problems. You can prep the boots, but when you run out there on pit lane, you can't waste too much time. I would say, I mean, it probably only takes 5 seconds. I would have a helper there and maybe
with
just
a
towel there to help you out there. But anyway, it looked like he tried to get his right foot dry at least, or less wet, let's put it that way.
Yeah, there's the risk of it slipping off the pedal.
Yeah, a lot of the times you'll put like almost like an emery paper on those pedals or have some sort of grippy surface, because if there's a shiny, you know, just a flat piece of metal there on the brake pedal, so easy to slip off if your boot is damp.
Winners yesterday in the AM class: Denny Stripling, Judson Holt, Lupe Tortilla. Finest fajitas in Texas, we are told.
I know. Need to check those out next year.
I will say they did offer very kindly an invite when we were at Circuit of the Americas.
You didn't share it with me, mate.
I told you about it, but we couldn't make it work.
Does it come with margaritas as well?
Well,
I'm all in on that.
I know you are. And Amanda is too.
Don't tell them the missus though.
But yeah, unfortunately we couldn't fit it into the schedule. But guys, if you're back next year, we would love to take you up on that. And apologies, belated apologies, that we couldn't make it happen earlier in the season.
Are the apologies to me or to the team?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit to me too. Whoa, big slide there. Girassi trying to get up to speed in the 72.
That was a moment.
Luca Mars right behind him. Oh, so tough when you don't know the track conditions yet. You're exploring for the first time, and those on the track already do.
When he's a little bit wide there, just keeps it together, slipping and sliding. Anxious moments for one of our championship contenders. Anthony Girazzi feeling the pressure, just needs to settle into the groove here, get into the rhythm. He's missing his marks right now. Just trying to explore this racetrack and figure out where the grip is.
This is the car that's chasing James Clay, now in the car, also fresh out of the pits. We'll see how quickly he can get up to speed. Wasn't much of a gap, just a couple of seconds, and that battle will be on. Meanwhile, front of the field, this is now for the overall lead of the race. Matt Travis, Pro-Am leader, has been caught by Kevin Bohm. Matt will know this is not his fight. Whoa, Kevin with a big slide.
I think for Travis, I haven't seen it yet on the notice board, but it looked to me like their pit stop may have been a tenth or two underneath. And yes, now it pops up, pit stop under review.
Yeah,
so,
by
I
less
think they're
than
looking at about 1.6 second penalty potentially post-race.
Spot on, exactly right. Bohm is through now, taking the overall lead for the Random Vandals team. Kenton Cook got started in that car. Travis now drops to second overall, but has a healthy lead over Tyler Stone. Second in the Pro-Am class, it's Michael Cooper sitting third. Cooper, though, first on their strategy of teams that started the bronze driver in their lineup. He's got Jan Hewen a couple of seconds behind. And And then it's Josh Green down there in 5th in class, but in position to score 4th place points. Drive-through penalty, pit lane speed violation for the 188, yesterday's winners from Fast Track Racing in the AM class.
Oh, wow. That is so unfortunate. Just wonder if he locked up getting to the stripe there. It could have been at pit in versus accelerating out of the pit box and towards pit out. Typically you got that electronic aid to keep you underneath the 50 kph maximum speed there. Jesse Weber looking at currently 3rd overall, 2nd in the silver class. Bohm leads overall, leader in silver. Our champions that were crowned yesterday, Ian Kent and Cook. Travis sits in P2, leading Pro-Am, does have a, we call it 2.5 penalty to serve post-race. Tyler Stone's having a great run, a bit deeper in the pack. I've seen him yet, but he's down there P2 in prime, 6 overall. It's a great run for that team.
Yeah, Matt Millian with a really good opening stint to put them in this spot. Now Tyler just needs to bring it home. He's running good lap times, to your point. 1:41.7 the last time by, only a second off of Michael Cooper's pace. There's a 9-second gap. I'm sure that time's on their side to hang on to 2nd spot at this rate, but could still be another good day.
Yeah, and let's not forget the 47 car is invisible, so effectively this is for the win in class.
As far as points go, yes. Yes. Yeah, and I mean, Cooper and Caples, they might not be in a position to win the championship, but they could potentially challenge for 2nd, depending on how things play out.
Yeah, and if they get the 33 up to the 53, yeah, the win would go to the 47 if Travis is able to hang on, but they'd get maximum points for Cooper and Caples if they can just get up to P2 right now in Pro-Am. Look at these drivers searching for the wet racetrack, trying to cool off these Pirelli P0s.
I saw the VPX car getting pushed back to gasoline alley. Another car stationary in the pits. That might be Michael and Alex Garcia again. They had that splitter issue early on in the race.
Jan Halen has said, I'm just going to stick to the straight line and the front straightaway. He's not searching for that wet patch. Driver's right. Anna Greenmeyer doing a really nice job. Sits there just in front of Jan Halen currently. Two Hannahs have done an awesome job this year. Just great chemistry within that group. Ian James and the whole Heart of Racing team absolutely love this campaign with the 2 female drivers.
Yeah, it was indeed the 24th place car, 07 car. The Garcia brothers out of the race officially now. Tough way for their season to end. Travis has been caught by Webb. This is for 2nd overall. 2 cars in different classes, though. Travis continues to lead in the Pro-Am class and is cutting laps in the high 140 range, which is only about a half a second off of what we're seeing out of Michael Cooper. This would be a really good day for NOLA Sport.
Battle for P2 overall. Webb down the front straightaway. Breaking it right in the middle of the road, should have good grip there. Carves the corner nicely, no drama. Travis recognizing that is not for class position. He still leads in Pro-Am. Could be a big day here for NOLA Sport.
That's so good to have Matt back. He's got an infectious personality. He's actually been at the racetrack from time to time this year, helping the team call some strategy. Did a little racing overseas again this year on the support bill for the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa, riding in GT4 European Series. Just a great character.
He truly is. Michael Cooper is the battle we're looking at right now. That's a battle for P2 in the Pro-Am division. Tyler Stone, hats off to him, has nowhere near the experience of Michael Cooper, let alone in these conditions. Now he's come under attack, but his last lap was only about a second and a bit off of Michael Cooper. That's an outstanding performance by Tyler Stone as he gives up 2nd in class. Got Jan Halen going to be after him next, but he is racing amongst the best right there.
That was for first place points in Pro-Am, with the Travis car being invisible from a points perspective, as it's been explained to us. Halen lines up the pass now. He gets to the inside of Stone, and the Belgian veteran looks like he'll make that move easily from turn 11 up to turn 12. That is now for second place points.
And that gaps the 7-1 car between them and Josh Green, the championship leaders. That's not going to be enough at the moment.
They would score fourth place points, Green and Craven, as it runs, so it would be a 4-point lead currently. So Halen needs to get on by Michael Cooper. That'd be enough. It would. Right? Because that would mean first place points for Swearingen.
Yes, that would be a 7-point swing.
And so from 4 down to 3 up.
Yeah.
So that's the championship.
That is it. That is huge right there.
Imagine being called in for one weekend of the season, the final weekend of the season.
Boy, he is sliding that race car. We saw him not elect to cool the tires down that front straightaway, but that 7 car is sliding more dramatically than any other car I've seen so far here today. Still 15 minutes plus to go. Now he's looking for water. Might be a bit too late to the game.
Calvin, you were singing the praises earlier of the Hannas, Greenmeyer, and Gresham. This might be their most impressive run to date, turning really good lap times here in tricky conditions. Great team behind them as well with the heart of racing.
No confirmation yet, but I know they're really positive about the program and the performances they put together this year. Hopefully we'll see them back fighting for a championship, because I think just had a bit of bad luck early in the year, but they always seem to be there, and just super disciplined approach, totally dedicated to making it to the upper ranks of motorsport, both of these young ladies.
Just looking at some of the sector times, Calvin, in that battle between Cooper and Halen. They're trading sectors back and forth. Middle sector went Jan's way. Michael just did the best third sector of the race to edge out the gap a little bit more. So much at stake here in this battle. Halen can win the title for his teammate if he can make this pass.
He can, and he is pushing. Look at him drift the car through here. See him working the steering, working those front wheels, soaring at the wheel, just trying to put the power down. A little bit quicker than that McLaren that he's chasing up ahead of him.
It's a little more complicated if Josh Green gets around Tyler Stone. And that could be happening here in a few laps' time. That would then mean Green and Craven would score third place points.
I think that would tie them, right?
Yeah.
And that would mean that there'd be a tiebreaker in the 94 car, has 5 wins on the year, and even if Halen could get effectively a win or maximum points, that would only be 4, so they hold the tiebreaker. We said before, the 94 car, if they can score third place points here today, nothing that Swearingen and his teammate Jan Halen here today can do about it. But they're going to keep fighting, they're going to keep pushing, hoping that Michael Cooper slips or gets back into their clutches.
Now, this is top-notch stuff, though, in difficult conditions for the likes of Cooper and Halen. They're lighting up, timing, and scoring like a Christmas tree. Cooper just did the best lap of the race, first driver in the 139s, but this is the car we've got our eyes on here. Josh Green needs to catch Tyler Stone. The gap right now is just about 4 seconds, a little bit over 4 seconds. He was faster by about a second on the last lap. There is time for him to do it. If he can catch Tyler Stone and pass him, that's the championship, full stop.
That is it, P3 clinches. He's got to keep pushing. 1.3 seconds quicker than the 53 machine of Tyler Stone that we look at right now. But Tyler is doing an amazing job. Josh Green, the youngster, going to be pushing hard. He knows that Jan Halen is fighting for the win. to make sure they have that safety net. He needs that additional position. He can see it up in front of him. He's got to go get him. Matt Milligan did an awesome job in the opening salvo to set the stage here for Tyler to do what he's doing. Here we're looking at James Clay and Girazzi. He can afford to follow him home, but we know what a racer James Clay is. Just need to keep him in sight. Closest car behind him is over a half a minute back, so no threat from behind James Clay. You know what Charlie Boson is going to be doing, reminding his friend and teammate James, no risk, no risk.
It would be a third title in 4 years if they can complete it. Still 11 minutes, 40 seconds to survive in the final race of the season. It's amazing. It always seems to come down to this last day of the year. It is true, Silver Class was done earlier in the weekend, but for the other two classes, so much still to be determined. But time running out. What's the gap now? Stone back to Green. Green ran a 40.2 compared to a 41.7. That's a second and a half Josh Green found on the last lap.
Yeah, a couple of laps at that sort of rate, that sort of delta. He'll be right there with him. We've got 11 minutes left on the board, so it's ominous for Tyler Stone that Josh Green will get to his rear bumper before the end of this race. Up front, Kevin Boehm has the lead, but Jesse Webb has closed down on him. JMF Motorsports, what a weekend they're putting together here. Could they grab the win? Neudorf swept the weekend in TC, 5 on the bounce to finish the season. His teammate Jesse Webb has got that Aston Martin flying right now in these drying conditions. Kevin Boehm going to try and hang on. As we said, they got the championship in their hands already. Can he hang on for the win here at Indy? Special to win at this venue, of course.
Searching for moisture anywhere he can find it. Kevin Boehm laboring late in this stint on 50-minute-old Pirelli wet tires. The track is damp, but by no means drenched. We haven't had any significant rainfall during the course of this race. And he's doing his best to nurse them home, but Webb appears to have the edge. He's got the faster lap of the two of them by nearly a second, and he has closed in rapidly over the last few minutes.
And some of this could come down to setup. Maybe Kevin Boehm is a really great engineer, just thought about this is going to be stay wet all day long, went full wet with the setup, and now it's drying out, it's being compromised with his pace.
We break away from the race for the lead to watch the race for the championship here, quite possibly unfolding in front of us in Pro-Am. Josh Green in the Random Vandals car. If he can make the pass on Stone, he would move into a position to clinch the championship as they run. Meantime, Webb now on the back bumper of Boehm with a little bit of a wiggle there, coming through turn 11. Kevin fighting for all it's worth, trying to end this season, a championship winning season with a high victory at Indianapolis, but it won't come easy. Webb also looking for that win.
He gets into him, he turns him. That was not the brightest move. I mean, it's wet on the inside. You're going to struggle to keep the front end tucked in. Kevin turns in and gets turned. Stu's will have a close look at that one. Tyler Stone hangs on still. Josh Green ever closer here for that P3 that he needs to cement this championship.
He's closing in. He has Luca Mars behind him in a silver class entry. Luca probably not wanting to get mixed up in this, knowing what's at stake. It's for 4th and 5th on the track, but it's for 3rd and 4th place points. And it's the points that Green desperately needs if he's going to come away with a title.
Yeah, I think the savior is that Michael Cooper seems to be stretching the gap to Jan Halen, which is significant. Here's the 97 car trying to recover. Now the other JMF car gets around him to rub a little bit of salt in the wound. Kevin Boehm comes back at the 4 machine. He's going to be fired up. He will not be a happy camper. Here's the battle for P3 in class.
To the inside, Josh Green takes the position away, and with it, the championship lead as they run. 3rd place points is enough to clinch the title for the number 94, Green and Craven. What a pairing they've emerged into here in 2025.
Tyler will try and follow the wheel track to that BMW. Maybe he can learn a little bit. Maybe he can see those few tenths that Josh Green had on him. Oh, loses a lot of ground there through the high-speed chicane. Looks like the car's got a lot of understeer.
Now Luca Mars does pull to the outside of Tyler Stone and work his way on through, taking the 10th overall position away.
It's not for class. Luca runs in the silver class, of course. Great run by Tyler Stone. Josh Green has got around him. That, as we said, he's just got to hang on, keep it there, all good. And up front, Travis has the lead by about 6 seconds in class over Michael Cooper. He's invisible for points, and Jan Halen is drifting back. I think his tires are just the worst for wear. I think he's got overheating tires in these conditions, and he's going to struggle to do anything with Cooper here today.
That then makes this a potential battle with significant consequences because, as expected here, Jesse Webb has been handed a penalty. It's a drive-through incident responsibility from the lead of the race.
Is up there.
Yes, exactly. So Filgaris and Ortman are fighting for second and third right now, but that will become the lead of the race.
Yeah, we always thought on paper, Pompelli and Filgaris, both champions at this level of the sport. Filgaris looking for a way through, gets blocked. He's moving there, Ortman. They're not going to like that in the race director's office, I can tell you that.
And Kevin Boehm is not done either. He recognizes that if something should open up, there's a chance to go through and win this thing yet before it's all said and done.
The front end of that BMW, I think maybe when he got spun around, he had to go through the grass there. That radiator grill is partially clogged up.
Behind them, we got a glimpse of the Nola Sport Porsche Cayman and Matt Travis doing really good work, lapping within fractions of a second of this bunch. That penalty has been issued. As mentioned, Jesse Webb will have to do the drive-through, and he does. He pulls in now. So Ortman is through to the lead of the race. Phil Garris is through to second. Kevin Boehm suddenly looking like he's got some life back in that car. Maybe driving through the grass, cool those tires off a little bit.
Tell you what, he is fired up.
And maybe that's it too. Maybe it's just the red mist.
I don't think he's going to be happy. Yeah, obviously Webb got that penalty. That was a bit disappointing because Jesse Webb's a great driver, but he had plenty of time left on the clock to be making that move in a really tricky area when it's wet offline. Boom, there, trying to get to the inside of Phil Garris. He has got some fight left in him today, the champion.
He certainly does. Couldn't quite get alongside. Phil Garris holds him off, but now Eric's got to be playing defense. Whoa, big slide there. Door open to the inside. Boehm unable to pounce.
Boehm's car's come to life here. Suddenly seems to have a bit more pace, visually at least.
By the way, Ortman was warned for blocking. You called that rightly. And moving in reaction to the car behind, caught the eye of the stewards 1 lap ago.
Well, warning is one thing, penalty is another, so he's got away with one as far as I'm concerned.
Just behind this group, Michael Cooper starting to reel in Matt Travis for the lead in Pro-Am.
Can they sweep the weekend? Massive drive here for Michael Cooper. Travis has got to dig deep if he's going to hang on to it. Last time they were 2 seconds delta. Cooper the faster, of course.
Just 4 minutes remain in the season. As they run, championships would go the way in the Pro-Am class of Random Vandals, in the Am class of Bimmer World Racing. But things can certainly change.
Look at the different lines that those two drivers approached there through turn 13. Boehm with the big run. Little wiggle from Phil Garris. The BMW gets a run down the front stretch.
They don't feel like they've got the ponies here this weekend for whatever reason. And you can see the Porsche's able to pull a bit of a gap. A couple of laps still to go here at Indy. Boom, late on the brakes, looking to the inside of Eric Filgaris and will take the spot back.
That was an awesome job there by Kevin Boehm. He has shown some fighting spirit here today. He's going to try and chase after that win, chase down that JMF sister car.
Remember, it was the sister car that
Does he know
spun
that?
him. Well,
Does
that's
he
a
have
good
the
question.
red mist thing, and that's the car that took me out?
If I'm Random Vandals, I'm not telling him. I'm saying that's the guy who spun you. Go get him. As if Kevin needs any more inspiration. Touring car champion, national champion at the amateur level, and now this year for the first time a GT4 champion, trying to finish the season with a victory in the the most famous racetrack, certainly in North America, if not the
He
world.
just did his personal best through the first sector. Kevin Bohm was feeling it. This car's come alive. Maybe they set it up for drying out. I talked about it, maybe the wet setup on. Maybe it was the opposite. They banked on the racetrack, drying out. And he has really got some spirit left here, trying to chase down Ortman.
Best middle sector. Trouble is, Ortman matched him.
Couple of tenths quicker on the lap so far than the leader, however, though. Time not on his side.
Expect it to be 2 laps to go at the pace that they are running. Across the Art of Bricks with roughly 2 minutes on the clock, running lap times in the 140 range. Here they come. Yep, should be time for 2 more laps.
It's closer. 1.3 seconds is the gap at the top. Ortman to Boehm.
Michael Cooper has passed Matt Travis. Could it be a sweep of the weekend at Indy for Black Dog Racing? Michael Cooper and Tony Gaples.
Well, they gave it their all. They knew it was a very much an outside shot, but you can't do any better than sweeping the weekend, and that's what they're looking like doing with just a lap and a half to go.
Jan Heylen, try as he might, just could not match the pace in the McLaren here this weekend. Did what he could to help Kurt Swearingen in this come-from-behind effort to win the championship. Josh Green sits in 4th in Pro-Am, but again, as it's been explained to us, the 47 is invisible for points, so it would be 3rd place points for Green and Craven. That is enough for them.
And that is so important. As they run without that car being invisible, that would give the championship to the 33, I believe.
I think you might be right.
Sure how the 7 factors into that, but I think that would be enough by a single point, but it looks like they're going to lose it by maybe a single point. Look at this, James Clay. What is he thinking here? He is putting pressure on Girazzi. James, back off. Give it to him. Don't have contact here. This is the last thing they need.
Shout louder, Calvin. They're not listening.
I'm trying. I need DJ in the booth with me.
Well, DJ will welcome them onto the podium, that's for sure. Kevin Boehm continues to chase Mike David Ortman, but it's not going to be enough at this rate. It's still a 1.5 seconds. Ortman for JMF Motorsports, trying to close out the season with a victory.
Wow, these championships, so tight, so much tension up and down pit lane. Everyone's got their calculators smoking right now. How many people know that the 47 car is invisible in points? That'll be a factor too.
Yes.
Got to think that random vandals are sweating it a little bit.
Michael Cooper, Tony Gaples started the season with a win at Sonoma. They had to wait until yesterday to get their 2nd, and it might be 2 on the bounce to wrap up 2025. Had an outside shot at the title coming in. Can't do much more than win both races.
No, you can't. Going to come up a little shy, but nonetheless, great performance. Michael Cooper, what an end to the year he's had across a couple of championships, Ryan.
It's true. You know, it would be a mirror image because at IMSA he won the first race and the last 2. Here he could win the first race and the last 2. Ray Sorensen and Tony Gaples are coming up over the wall. They're ready to cheer him home. But first we'll watch as Mike David Ortman and Braden Arthur come through in just a few moments. That will be their 2nd win of the season, but the first one that Braden Arthur has actually driven in. That's a whole nother story. Here they come, German driver in his first year racing in North America. It's been a solid season, top 3 in the championship, and they cap it off with a win at Indianapolis. Kevin Boehm, champion in 2025, finishes in 2nd. The Pro-Am win to Black Dog, Michael Cooper and Tony Gaples. Eric Filgaris and Spencer Pompelli do come home in the 3rd spot in silver. Meanwhile, in AM, they're still battling it out.
James Clay, just give it up, mate. Just back off and follow him home. I know a win at Indy is important, but don't threaten the championship.
As they run, even with Girassi leading, it would be enough to finish 2nd for Clay and Postins.
By a single point.
1 point, but you only need the 1.
That's right. That's what Charlie's reminding James right now on the radio, I would think.
Looming in the distance is the recovering Gresham Wagner. They had the puncture early, never really could get back into the fight. But here we go. The battle for the AM Class win comes down to the wire.
Clay's got a run. Clay's got a big run.
Here comes James Clay to the outside. It's neck and neck at the Yard of Bricks. Gerasi and Schmid get the win, but Clay and Postins take the championship.
Wow, there's a lot going on there. That was a fun one.
It was.
Thriller to finish. Well done, everyone in that race. Tricky conditions, superb driving.
That encapsulates this entire season in a nutshell. That's what it's been like all year. If you like action, Pirelli GT4 America is for you. But, you know, let's go back to it. It is massive, the decision to make that 47 invisible for points.
Yeah, I think it's not quite as tight as I think. I think it was if the 7-car one would have been the factor in terms of the championship. I think Green was pretty safe there, sitting P4 on the road, P3 for points. I think for the 33 to win the championship, Green had to effectively finish last in class.
I think you're right. I think you're right. The Pro-Am Championship this year to the 94 of Josh Green, Sam Craven. AM Class Championship to the 36, James Clay, Charlie Postins, their third in 4 years. What a bounce back from a disappointing year last year, and a great send-off for Charlie, who says he's in his final year with the team. But we've heard it before. And
you're going with it. He sold you on it.
I'm going. I'm going to believe you, Charlie.
I'm going to get a couple of drinks in his neck tonight and see what he does.
And clinched yesterday, Random Vandals took the Silver Class Championship with Kevin Boehm and Kenton Cook. There they are, though, Green and Craven. 2 championships for the Vandals in GT4 America, plus the GT World Challenge America title. There's only one they missed out on this year, and that was in the M class.
Yeah, just didn't have lot of luck there for Paul Sparta individually.
Did you see that? Tony went in for the hug, and he hit his mouth on Michael's helmet. He went in with a little too much enthusiasm.
Give him a kiss.
Yeah, still smarting from that a little bit. Oh my goodness. Mike David Ortman out of the car and celebrating. Came at the expense of the sister car. Little miscue late from Jesse Webb that cost them dearly. They fell down all the way to 6th, but there will still be plenty of happy people to talk to down in Victory Lane. Amanda Scott, our Pro-Am winners.
I'll do my best.
Well, as the silver winners keep, or the overall winners keep celebrating, guys, you knew coming in here that if there was a championship hope that you'd have to win both races. Well, you did win both races, and you made it so extra tight out there, but this kicked off with an excellent qualifying effort for you, Tony. What were you on this weekend that made this so successful?
Well, I got a great teammate here who has data that I can look at, and we just did really well here.
Michael, I think they were coming for you, but you said no way. And I'm sure if we had one more weekend here in the season, you guys would have made this championship very interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting last night when the guy said it's still mathematically possible, and then your mind just goes to all those little things that happen over the course of the year that cost you those points. But incredible job by McLaren, incredible job by Black Dog Racing, Ray Sorensen, our engineer Eric Miller. Tony did an incredible job, and I'm just happy to cap off another win here at IMS, and in the rain this time, so got some variety to it, and showing I could still do it anytime, any place.
A sweep of the weekend for Black Dog as we go to our race winners getting these Pirelli hats on. And guys, what a celebration on top of this, Aston. And I want to go back to the stint that you just had, Michael David. You get a win here, officially 2 wins on the season for the team. This drive for you, how special was that, pulling over to the team and celebrating by the wall?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I just said this morning that we just started this project in December. John is making all this possible, and to finish the end of the season with a win. Crazy conditions out there, every lap changed, but had some really nice fights, so really appreciate all the respect on track. And it's been an amazing season. the JMF crew, Braden, everyone in the team put so much effort in it, and yeah, I just can say thanks from my side. I hope to come back next year, and yeah, I really enjoyed this year, by far the most I've ever done in my whole racing career.
In a winter in Indianapolis, and Braden, you probably had the worst of those conditions. Walk us through what the track was like.
Yeah, it was pretty slippery all the way around. I mean, the first few laps, I was just trying to figure out where the grip was. I think everyone was. It was hard to judge, but I think we tried to make the most of it and just tried to manage at the start. The leaders took off a bit. I didn't quite get up to speed like how I wanted to, but at the end I started putting in some consistent laps and handed over to Mike, and yeah, everything broke loose, and we got the win.
Congratulations to our overall winner, and congratulations to our AM winners that are celebrating next to that as well. But it's time to talk to some champions down here. We're going to start in the AM class with Charlie Postons and James Clay. 3 championships in the last 4 seasons, and we know that this was the last one together. How much were you in his ear during the end of that race?
After racing with James for 4 years, I know he's never going to put a foot wrong and he's going to bring it home. So I was totally chill on the bench.
You knew you were probably a champion at that moment, but you wanted that race win.
Absolutely. I knew we were quick. I had a little bit of gap early on. And, I had trouble closing it, but then all of a sudden we had a car and a little bit of traffic got mixed in, and yeah, totally wanted it. But I'm reminded of patience that I rarely show, and I showed it today. So that's what you have to do to win the championship, and great for those guys to do the win. It was a great battle.
Thank you guys for all the memories made over the last 4 seasons.
Thank you.
And as we move on to our Pro-Am champions of Josh Green and Sam Craven, and guys, man, to come down to the final race of the season and to come out victorious, what was your mindset heading into this race?
Head down, do what we got to do, and me and Josh did exactly that. I wish he was here. I don't know where the heck he went, but amazing season for Josh and I, first time in SRO. Random Vandals did incredible. Travis, Phil, Skylar, the whole team, just awesome.
Well, it was a 6-win season for our Pro-Am champions, and moving over to Kevin Boehm, who was seeing mean out there. And sir, you are a champion yet again in the SRO paddock. We already know that, but just the drive that you had today in trying to get right back in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great when Ken gives me the car in the lead. It doesn't get much better than that. So, man, my hat's off to him all season. He's just been a fantastic teammate. And I think really it was trying to guess how much the tires were going to kind of go away as the track dried out. So it was a little bit of trying to guess how the tires were going to go. And I think I let the gap close a little bit too much. And, yeah, we got together there in 12, and that was a bit unfortunate, but kind of just put my head down, saw cars in front of me, and I didn't want them there anymore. So I tried to get back by them and got one of them, had a fantastic race with those guys. And my hat's off to the whole Random Vandals team this year. They've given us just a rocket ship every single race. We've been, I think, consistently the fastest, if not one of the fastest BMWs this whole season. And I think it just goes into the prep that they do behind the scenes. And yeah, thanks to all of our partners. We have a lot of guests here. We got to show them this car a little bit cleaner than it is yesterday. So it's kind of cool to see what it looks like after a race sometimes. This is definitely worse than most, but yeah, man, what a day.
Congratulations to your silver champions, Random Vandals, picking up 2 championships in Pirelli GT4 this season. I'm so happy I get to fit in one more interview as I run across the bricks to find Anthony Geraci and Kenny Speed. You guys knew that there was a point situation coming into this, but you get a win here in Indianapolis. Does that sweeten the pot?
Can't ask for more than that. I mean, we lost to the champion to a great team. They're a good bunch of guys, fast, competitive, clean. That's all we can ask for. Kenny brought me a great car. I tried to show him proud and finish the race the way we should. So it was a good season.
Danny, I didn't get to talk about that move yesterday, but just to keep the championship alive, how will you sum up the weekend here in Indianapolis for this effort?
I mean, great. Listen, we did everything that we kind of could, especially today. It sucks to lose the championship by 1 point, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of places over the season where we lost more than that. So, but we put together a great season. The team's given us an excellent car every single weekend. Anthony has avoided more bullshit and more accidents out there than I've ever seen anyone avoid. And, so we had a really great season. And, second is all right. But,
Thank you
we'd like to
be racing SRO. Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
And congratulations to our 2025 champions in Pirelli GT4. Ryan, I think you said it best. It came down to this, a complete reflection of the season that we saw this year.
Agreed, Amanda. Thank you, and good to hear from everyone. Emotions high, so apologies for the language, folks, but you can understand everyone's on a high here at the end of a busy season. Race results, final race of the season. Braden Arthur, Mike David Ortman, second win of the year by a second over Kenton Cook and Kevin Boehm. Michael Cooper, Tony Gables sweep the weekend, don't they, in the Pro-Am class. Congratulations to them. And made the championship interesting in the final two races. Am class, the win to Gerasi and Schmid. Clay and Postins finished second, but that's enough to clinch the title. Similar story for Green and Craven. They finished fourth in class for third place points, and it's enough to take home a Pro-Am championship here in 2025. Let's talk about those points in greater detail now. Starting with silver, this was done yesterday. Kenton Cook, Kevin Boehm, 40 points in the final analysis over Gresham Wagner and Tyler Gonzalez. Braden Arthur, Mike David Ortman, with a strong finish to their season, come home in third ahead of their teammates, Jesse Webb and Jonathan Newdorf. Pro-Am points a little bit closer. Green and Craven by 7 tallies. Kurt Swearingen went on a real tear second half of the year to enter into the equation. For Cooper and Gables, they end up 12 points on the wrong side of it, only 5 points out of second, and if not for a really disappointing Barber weekend, that triple header did not go their way. They very well could have come away with the championship as well as they ran here at Indianapolis this weekend, and you had to send some thoughts out as well to James Walker Jr. and Tyler McQuarrie. No luck when they needed it, and they end up finishing fourth in points despite coming in with a real shot at the title this year. To the Am class, Postins and Clay by a single point over Gerasi and Schmid. Judson Holt stands alone in the third place in Am points at the end of the year. Compelling championships across all three classes this year in 2025. Green flag waves, albeit delayed on the final race of the season ahead of a single file start, and it was Mateus Leist of Noah Sport who led the way. Early on, puncture for Tyler Gonzalez, had to limp that car around, never caught a yellow to get them back in the mix. Pit stops took place, and this interesting exchange ensued with Michael Cooper fighting with Josh Green. He was able to get around, having been out on track for a few laps. Green fresh out of the pits, thrown right into the thick of the fight. Fights breaking out all throughout the field. Gerasi has a moment here, slipping up wide. That opened the door for Green to come through. Kevin Boehm took the overall lead away from Matt Travis, and he held it for a good chunk of the second half of the race, only to be run down late in the going by Jesse Webb, JMF Motorsports, trying to pick up the victory here. Jesse, though, over-ambitious, according to race control, down into turn 12. He was penalized with that, with a drive-through penalty, which made this the battle for the lead. Mike David Ortman carving his way up through the field, first getting around Boehm. To the inside, then the outside. Then he had to size up Eric Filgaris, got the pass made. Boehm followed him through a few laps later to take the second position away. Michael Cooper took the victory in the Pro-Am class. Champions across the board. Congratulations to everyone on a great 2025 season.